Hello Speedway, my name is Carlos May. I am the new town manager. And what we are doing here is a new TV program called This is Speedway. In essence, the gist of this show is to bring aboard and interview community members that represent nonprofits, various organizations, really any entity that touches the lives of the residents of Speedway, in order to highlight programs and events that they have going on, and in order to more expose the residents of Speedway of various entities and organizations that they might not have been aware existed right here within the boundaries of Speedway. So with that, we will have a few guests coming up just in a few minutes on the show. And then the other factor that we're going to bring into the show is to highlight events that are happening in Speedway for the month preceding, no, that would be incorrect, for the month following the taping of this show. Now, the reason for this is simple. I want to engage as much as I possibly can with Speedway, and I would love to see Speedway residents engage even more so than they already do with other residents of Speedway. So if you have anything to do with any organization or entity within Speedway and you would like to be a guest on the show to discuss what it is that your group does, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, let us know, and we would love to get you on the show. Now with that, let me give you some updates as to what's going on in Speedway during the month of July. But first, as always, we need to talk just a little bit about COVID. Clearly, it is still going on, so we at the town would encourage folks to maintain social distancing, wear masks if you feel comfortable, please wash your hands. Just those simple things alone will really help drive this down, and hopefully as the events that are happening in July get going, we can take these small precautions in order to ensure that everyone is safe and having a good time. So with that, let's get to some of the good stuff that's coming up in the month of July. First and foremost, we've got the Backyard Brickyard. Now this is an event that's tying together the Brickyard 400, the Grand Prix, and the Pennzoil 150 coming up on the July 4th weekend with the residents. It's basically a partnership between IMS and the town of Speedway residents to say, hey, let's have a party in our backyard since we can't have any guests at the IMS, and let's just show the spirit of what's happening within Speedway, even though, as I just said, there will be no visitors at the IMS itself. So feel free to look at our social media page as well as that of the IMS for more information on what is happening that weekend. Next up, and I'm particularly excited about this, is the Daredevil's Food Truck Fridays. So that is starting back up on July 10th. You can come out to Daredevil Brewing on Main Street for a free evening of live music, bounce houses, craft beer, cider, as well as just food trucks, you know. Hopefully there's a lot of different flavors. I'm excited to attend for the first time. I mean, obviously I've had food from food trucks, but never at an event like this, so I'm really looking forward to it. The next thing we've got going on is with our Parks Department, and that is the Speedway Summer Concert Series. So I'm sure that most of you already know what a summer concert series is, but let me give you some of the details. So the 9th annual series is coming up very, very soon. It's starting July 9th from 7 to 9 p.m. and continuing on. A couple of the bands that we've got going, a local favorite I've been told, The Party, is starting us off on July 9th. The next one on the 16th is the Starlighters Big Band. On the 23rd, we have Country Summer. And then to finish off the concert series is My Yellow Rickshaw on July 30th. Now, as always, all of the concerts are free to attend. Please bring out, picnic baskets, blankets, chairs, kind of whatever you want to have a fun night at the park. We will definitely attempt to maintain the social distancing, but we still would like residents to come out, enjoy the weather, enjoy the music, and just enjoy each other's company. Following up with that, we have got summer camps. So, although a lot of the Speedway Parks and Rec events got canceled due to COVID, we still wanted to have a few opportunities to get out there and be active. So the 3 coming up from July 6th to 9th, it's Stronger with Sarah, and they're going to host their Strong Kids Mind and Body Boot Camp. I'm sure most of the kids, I have a child and they've been cooped up for the past few months, so I'm sure that a lot of the kids are ready to get out there, and this seems like a great event for that. On Wednesdays, starting July 8th, a free horseshoe camp for ages 8 to adult will be taking place. So feel free to reach out to the Parks Department to find out more detailed information on that. And then finally, on the week of July 27th is a free cornhole camp in Leonard Park, again for ages 8 and up to adults. Now keep in mind that all 3 events do require registration. We need to keep within the Indy mayoral rules and the governor's rules on events and how many people can attend due to COVID. So because of that, registration is required. All the information can be found at our website, which is speedwayin.gov. Again, www.speedwayIN.gov. Next up is the farmers market. So the Locals Farmers Market is going to be up and running on Thursdays on the corner of 11th and Main Street. The market is open each week from 4 to 7:30 p.m. As farmers markets are wont to do. It's going to be local produce, food, events, and whatnot, so feel free to come out. I'm definitely going to check it out. And then finally, the library. Now, the library is open once again, but they are still doing curbside pickup. So if you don't feel comfortable going in, feel free to just call out. You can call them at 317-243-8959. Again, 243-8959. Let them know your information, and they will have your books and or media ready for you when you arrive. And following up on that is summer reading. Now, there is still time to participate in the 2020 summer reading program. This year, you get to log your hours online. And as a reminder, the summer reading program is open to all ages and includes different prizes for each age group. Feel free to visit the library's website for more details, but just knowing on this, I love to read. I'm a big bookworm, so I will challenge myself to read as much as I can, even executing the duties of this office. And if someone can beat the books that I read, the number of books that I read, I'll log my books as well, then I'll buy you some ice cream over at Fun Days. So hopefully that'll entice some folks to read. Now, no retirees, because you're going to beat me just as a matter of fact, because I have a job and you get to read most of the day. So I'm going to try to limit this to high school age kids, young adults, and working adults. So if you fit within that age range, let's have a friendly competition. If you win, like I said, you get some ice cream on me. If I win, maybe I get some ice cream on you. Other than that, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out to my office. You can reach me directly. My email address is cmay@speedwayIN.gov. You can let me know any comments, concerns, questions, as well as if you would like to be on the show representing an organization, entity, group, nonprofit, whatever that might be. So that is a brief summary of what is going on in the month of July in Speedway. Up next, we have two guests. The first is Josh Clay. He's the president of the Speedway Exchange Club. And the second is going to be Jason Van Sickle. He is the IMS Museum Curator of Vehicles. So without further ado, let's get to these interviews. We are here with our first guest, Josh Clay of the Speedway Exchange Club. And I want to say, first off, thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. And I just want to launch right into it. First and foremost, and very simply, what is the Speedway Exchange Club?
So the Exchange Club of Speedway has been around since 1985. We're a local organization of a national group called the National Exchange Club. And now the National Exchange Club has been around since 1911. So as long as we've been running the Indy 500, there's been an Exchange Club. We primarily focused on family, community, and patriotism. We are also focused on the prevention of child abuse, as well as helping our youth in the area through Scholarship Foundation.
That's excellent. You mentioned a few different items that you help out with, but what is the main way that the Speedway Exchange Club has given back to our community here?
So our primary focus, our national attention is focused on the prevention of child abuse. So to those efforts, we've given over $1.5 million to the Children's Bureau right here in Indianapolis, whose mission is to prevent child abuse. So our primary way of doing that and fundraising for that is the upcoming Golf for Kids event, which is an annual fundraiser for us. We've been doing it. This will be our 35th year in a row putting on that event, and it goes to the Children's Bureau as well as our additional programs with the Exchange Club and our scholarships.
Well, since you brought that up, can you go ahead and give us some more details on that golf outing? What is it? How can you register? All the good details that the audience should know about.
Absolutely. So the Golf for Kids event, like I said, this is our 35th year doing it. You can register for that event by going to www.exchangeclubofspeedway.org. There's information there on all of our scholarship opportunities, as well as the registration page for the golf outing. Now, this is a unique event in that we traditionally run it the Thursday before the Indy 500, which gives golfers the opportunity to experience the Indy cars going around the track during practice. We are continuing that tradition this year. We've been told that there will be cars going around track August 12th, which is the day we've scheduled for the initial golf outing.
Excellent. Now, let's take a step back and more generally speaking, how can one join the Speedway Exchange Club?
So the Speedway Exchange Club, we meet every third Tuesday right here at Dawson's on Main. They've been hosting us there for a number of years. You can become a member simply by going to exchangeclubofspeedway.org, previously provided, or show up at Dawson. So these monthly lunches, third Tuesdays at Dawson's on Main, are a great opportunity to meet everybody involved with Exchange Club and learn about the organization. We also have a guest speaker once a month usually. This can be anybody from a mayoral candidate to we've also hosted race car drivers in the past, but it's a great opportunity to kind of network with the business people in the area as well as some of the local residents.
Is there any final message you want to give to the residents of Speedway as to why they should participate with the Speedway Exchange Club, or why you would want them aboard, or just anything that you want the community to know about?
So our motto is unity for service, and we are big on coming together as a group. You have access to a national network of over 18,000 people in the United States and Puerto Rico. It's a great organization. Everybody involved is giving back to the community and helping prevent child abuse and providing scholarships to the youth of our area.
Excellent. Well, I thank you for your time. I just want to let the community members know that you should definitely check out the website that they've got. You should definitely check out the registration. If you can make it to the golf outing, that'd be great, because obviously that's one of their main mechanisms to raise money to then give back to the community, specifically to help prevent child abuse, as you stated earlier. So thank you very much for coming out. Any parting words?
No, thanks for having me, Carlos. Welcome to the town of Speedway on behalf of the
Appreciate that.
Exchange Club of Speedway, and we appreciate having you here.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, Speedway. We are back with Jason Vansickle. He is the curator of vehicles at the IMS Museum. So first off, Jason, thank you for coming out. I really appreciate you coming out to speak with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So real simple and real generally. For those viewers who have not been to the museum, can you just tell us a little bit about where you're located, what is it that you do, and what is it that people can see when they go there?
Yeah, so the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum is a separate non-for-profit entity, completely separate from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Though we are located inside the iconic 2.5-mile oval, we've been a foundation actually since 1956. In our current location, we built the building in 1976, so we're, what now, almost 50 years, going on 50 years at the place. So it's an exciting place. We have over 300 cars in the collection. We have memorabilia pertaining to the Indianapolis 500, but also some things outside the 500, and a large collection of Indiana passenger cars.
Excellent. Now, obviously, due to COVID and everything that's been going on, the museum has been closed for a while. Do you have any idea as to when it would be reopening, and then what can visitors expect to see and do at the museum, obviously incorporating this COVID issue that we've got?
Yeah, unfortunately, like every other Speedway business or institution, COVID has hit us hard. We really rely on our admissions for support. Unfortunately, since the shutdown started, we had to be closed to the public. We've been working on the backside to make it safe for guests to visit this institution. We're hoping to start tours on July 6th, so this upcoming Monday. That will be just the tours only around the Oval, and then July 7th will be the first day we allow guests inside the museum. We've been going through and kind of researching how other institutions, not only museums, but other, like grocery stores, restaurants, anything we can research to figure out how to make this safe. So you'll see a lot of sanitation stations, gel, hand washing stations, germ disinfectants, things like that, cleaning. We're doing some extra cleaning throughout the day. We're going to start to limit the guests to 100 people, and then kind of take baby steps from there. Obviously, during the tours, after each tour, we're going to clean the buses thoroughly. There's social distancing reminders throughout the museum now, whether it's on the floor or signs. So safety obviously is one of the biggest priorities we have, keeping not only our staff safe, but the guests that come and check out our great artifacts. So we're going to mandate masks for guests. That's another thing you'll see starting on July 7th. So obviously a lot of this we'll keep working on. Everything is constantly changing.
Yes,
with
absolutely.
What's going on. So we're always going to be ahead of the curve on that, trying to keep guests and staff safe.
Excellent. Well, speaking of changes, but changing topics, we hear that you've got some big, exciting changes coming to one of your exhibits, called From the Vault.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us about those changes?
Yeah, so From the Vault actually opened last November, and because of COVID, we had 2 summer exhibits planned. And unfortunately, with all the situations, we had to postpone one of those. We're still opening our Granatelli exhibit, which we just announced a few days ago. That exhibit is going to open August 1st, and it's about 5,000 square feet directly in the North Hall of the museum, dedicated to legendary and bolsterous car owner Andy Granatelli. His hard luck story, bringing the innovations such as the turbine, obviously after many years of not being successful at the 500, winning in 1969. So dedicating the North Hall to him, having various cars. He actually did attempt to qualify for the 500 in 1948. We have that car that unfortunately he wrecked on the third of 4 qualifying laps, almost making the race. So that's exciting to have open with everything going on right now. And then we reevaluated our other exhibit. We decided that unfortunately with what's going on, it would be in our best interest to kind of hold that for another time, which we're excited to announce that at a later date. But we are also changing the From the Vault exhibit, which really features our own car, our own collection. So you have a potpourri of obviously Indianapolis 500 race cars, non-Indy 500 race cars like the Ferrari 250 LM, the last Ferrari to win outright at Le Mans, which is kind of talked about in the Ford versus Ferrari. We had a Ford GT40 that actually raced at Le Mans in 1966, a part of this exhibit also. So that will run as it is right now until August 1st when we rearrange some things to fit Granatelli in there. And then October 1st, we are opening a modification or a refresh of that. So we're taking 8 cars out and replacing them with 8 more cars from the vault and refreshing that exhibit. And that will last until March of 2021. So some exciting things that are happening inside the museum with our collection.
That sounds incredible. Let's move on. You've got another event coming up, as I understand it, it's called Cars and Coffee. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so Cars and Coffee, we started in the East Museum parking lot, so directly outside of the museum, inside the Oval in 2016, and it's been a phenomenal success. You know, we're averaging on certain months, it goes from August to October on a normal year. Unfortunately, this year we had to position that virtually, which we had some good activity around that. But this one, we're doing something with the town of Speedway, which is going to be really exciting. We are going to shut down Gilman Street and limit the cars to 250 cars on July 11th. That's Saturday, second Saturday of the month, our normal spot. And we're going to have a car show at that. So the idea is obviously we host our Cars and Coffee like we usually do for June, but also we hope that all these participants go and support the local Speedway businesses on Main Street and have lunch and just enjoy the automobile, enjoy the camaraderie, social distance while you do that, but bring a little bit of our normal programming back to our guests.
Is there a cost to attend this Coffee and Cars event?
It is free. Due to the limited number of cars, we do have an RSVP process that we'll announce here shortly. If you're interested, you always check our social media channels at IMS Museum or our website, indyracingmuseum.org, for more information how to RSVP and get parking passes and things like that. But other than that, it is a free event.
Excellent. I'm sure that'll be very well attended, and it happens to be on my birthday, so I'll show up and have a sandwich or something.
Good.
Let me wrap up here just simply asking, what other events do you have coming up at the museum that you would like the residents of Speedway to know about?
You know, it's one of those things where obviously the COVID situation changed our 2020 plans. So we're looking at different opportunities, different events, some virtual events in the near term. But also, when we get through this situation, looking at different events at the museum is something that we will look into. But for the meantime, obviously the 2 updated exhibits and the new exhibit, Granatelli, are 2 of our main events. Cars and Coffee, obviously, in downtown Speedway, will be interesting also to check out. And always keep track of our social media and our website for more information on events.
Can you repeat that one more time so the audience is aware of what your website and social media is?
So our website is indyracingmuseum.org, and our social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook is at IMS Museum.
Great. Jason, thanks for your time. Is there any final words that you'd like to get out?
No, it's great to be here. I appreciate the time to talk about the museum, and look forward to seeing you there.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
So I want to thank Josh and Jason for both being on the show. It's great to hear from community members that are representing various organizations talk about what it is that they do best. With that, I'd like to close out and say thank you for watching this inaugural show. We will see you each and every month. And please remember, if you do represent an organization, an entity that would like to have an interview take place, please feel free to reach out to us, specifically Kelly Buck, our communications director. If you have any other questions, though, please feel free to reach out directly to me. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next month.